And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I do every day, except for Saturday and Sunday sometime. How are you all doing? What's new in your world? The heat is coming back to New York. The heat is on. The heat is on. It's going to get hot around here in New York City. The humidity is back in, and then tomorrow is supposed to be even more hot. And then Friday, 97, 98, some of the, maybe Newark may hit 100, but it's supposed to be short-lived. And that is a good thing because I do not like the heat. Don't like the heat. I'm not made for it. I would say my porcelain skin, but I don't have porcelain skin. I just have good melanin skin that just does not like hot weather. There's somebody in the building. There's somebody in the building that knows how to press the bell. Oh, yes. You're welcome to join. Walk on in, sir. Walk on
Good
in.
morning, sir. How are you doing today?
I love that you have a key to the door.
Sometimes you gotta check up on your peoples.
I love that you have the key to the door. That is priceless. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna ring the bell.
How you doing
Welcome
today?
back, and it's so good to see you back, buddy. And how's
Thanks,
mom?
man.
How's dad? How's everyone doing?
Everybody's doing okay. They can't complain. Life throws you some curveballs sometimes, and you just have to move with them, as they would say.
Life keeps lifing, right?
Yes, very much
Life
so
keeps
that.
lifing.
Yes,
I
yes,
learned
yes,
that
yes.
terminology this week. Life keeps lifing.
And it's been
And
lifing like all at the same time.
yes,
1 minute
yes.
everybody's okay, and then the next minute it's just like, all right, well, we just have to take a step back
Press
and find
through
what we're gonna do. Yeah, yeah,
and press through, right? We press
yeah. But
through.
everybody's good. Mom is home. She's recovering. She's actually doing better than everyone
Yeah, your
expected. So
mom did better
that's a
than
good.
me. I mean, she was up and out and got her, and she did all the
Listen,
things she needed to
listen.
do. I was
The
like, it took
very,
me a
the
whole 4
very,
days.
the very next day, like surgery
She
was
was ready.
Tuesday. And it was a long, long day because it was a scheduled surgery. We went in, her surgery was scheduled for 11 a.m. And
Mm,
we got there at 8:30. They said be there by 8:45. And they took her back, got her prepped, and I was able to go back and sit with her. And then, as the time kept getting closer, like, well, okay, well, we didn't realize it was like almost 11, and then someone came out and said, "Oh, the surgery's getting pushed back about an hour because the person that's in that particular OR, they're taking a little bit longer than it was expected."
oh wow.
So that was the first hour, and then as that second hour approached, they were like, "Oh, well, we're gonna get pushed back till 1." We're like, now, mind you, they'd already not just given her the meds before you go into surgery.
Yes.
So she had all that stuff in her system and everything ready to go. And then they come back again and they're like, it's not going to be till about 2 o'clock. It was just like,
Wow.
yeah. So we were literally in the pre-op area from 9 a.m. until um, they came and got her around 2:20 is when the anesthesiologist finally came out and said, all right, we're ready. And they walked her
Mm,
back. I watched her, walk back there. And just this is she was at NYU Winthrop on Long Island. This is where like my brother was born, where she had him, and where she
mhm.
had her one other surgery, and where my dad has had all his surgeries. My father's been through the ringer. Um, but you know, they have a great system as far as like informing you. So like I'm the person to contact. So you get a text message for everything. I watched her
Mm,
walk back into the OR at 2:20. At 2:30, they said procedure has she's on the table, procedure has started. And then I was there from 2 until 10 p.m. when they wheeled her into recovery. She was the last person to come out of the ORs and then the last person to be in the recovery area.
she
When I
was the
went
last
back there,
she was the last surgery of the day.
no, she wasn't.
Oh.
So her surgery was scheduled for when the surgeon came out in pre-op to talk to us, they said,
Mm-hmm.
surgery is booked for 6 hours, but we more than likely will only take 4. She was in surgery for 7 hours. So
Mm.
there were people lined up after because they have a series of ORs. They have about, I think, 6 or 8 ORs.
Mm-hmm.
And so other surgeries were going on, but she was the last one to come out and the last one in recovery. As a matter of fact, she was literally the last person in recovery.
Wow.
Um, to the point where the main recovery area they have on the OR floor closes at 11 p.m. They had to move her to up to the other floor where they could watch her in recovery because she had so much anesthesia. They had to wait till like she fully came out of it. Around 11:45, when I 11:30 when I saw her again because I was with her, but then they had to move her. So they brought
Mm-hmm.
me up to the waiting room on the floor that she was going to be on because he even had a room assignment and everything. Um,
Wow.
all the nurses were there, and it was like, you know what, you guys, you've been here all day. Just go home. She needs to just, wake up, and then we'll move her to her room. So I left there around 11:45, got home around 12 midnight, and then came back at 6. And when I came back, like she looked like a totally different person. Because when you come out of surgery, you're a little puffy. You really can't talk much because they had the tube down your throat. So she was good the next day up, walking. They removed her catheter. Um, PT came by, walked her on the floor. And literally, they tell you to do certain things. You have to, pee, pass gas.
Yes, you gotta do those things, and mine was taking too long.
Listen, hours that day, because I got there at 6 a.m. Me by noon,
Yes.
stuff was done. All that stuff was done. So they were like, "You're
Wow.
doing amazing." I walked with her that evening around the floor. And then Thursday, she was eating. They even gave her
Mm.
solid food. The surgeon had told her prior to the surgery, "You're going to be on a liquid diet for about 2 weeks." I went out and got some stuff for her, so she had stuff in the house, and didn't even really need it. I mean, she's still going to use it, but like she's on solid foods again. Literally like 2 days after surgery. So
Nice, nice.
he's doing good. And thank you to everyone who reached out and sent prayers up. It Listen, prayer helps. Prayer helps.
Prayer helps.
Yeah.
Prayer helps. It certainly does. Well, here's some good people in the building. The first person in the building is Gwendolyn. Where's Hannah? She
Yeah.
says,
How
Where
did
is
you
our
beat Hannah?
Hannah? Where is our Hannah? She says, Good morning. And Jazzy Jazz is in the building. Good morning, beautiful people. And we have the great Elise Starworth is in the building. Good morning, everyone, she says. And who else is here? Who else is here? Aya is in the building for our wonderful Wednesday water cooler day. We were supposed to have a guest today, but he had to leave. He couldn't show up, so we had to postpone. We'll reschedule. We did have a guest for today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, the Sunny Boy's in the building. Adrian Florence says, Happy Hump Day, fam. Lisa's in the building. She says, Good morning, everyone. And Kimmy is in the building. She says, Oh, wow, that was late. Glad everything went well. And
Yeah.
then we have
Thank
the
you.
wonderful Bryson saying, What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, everybody? Happy Hump Day. Nice. Everybody's in the building. Make sure you smash the likes. I'm saying today to smash the likes. Make sure you do that. And there's a lot in the news, but we're going to also bring on our wonderful. I'm going to just send those invites out to our other co-hosts. I would love to have them on. And where's Elise? There's Elise. Oh, let's bring Elise and G in the building because G has something she wants to talk about too. So there they are. The invitations are out. The invitations are out. And but yeah, it's there's a lot going on in the news. The
A
deception,
lot. A
deception. Oh, I
lot.
said sorry, not deception. Distraction. That's
Yeah,
what's
but the
going
only
on.
person being distracted is the Orange Menace because everyone can see
Everyone
clearly
sees
what
through
he
it,
is doing.
and his
And I think
people are
everyone is
getting.
over it.
Oh, his people are losing their
They're
minds.
gonna burn down the house with him in it.
Oh, they want to burn it down. I mean,
Set him
I
on
mean,
fire.
some of his major
Well, because
supporters,
he's turning on them too.
and then told them they're the blame. Oh, he's just unhinged, as they say, unhinged. However, I keep
I think it's the
wondering,
swollen cankles that's the
it's
problem.
it's the swollen ankles, it's the bad hands, it's the veins not flowing right. The veins are not delivering the blood in the proper places,
So
and
hold on, I
whew,
saw something that someone wrote, and I mean, it's so poignant. He's been in office twice now. He has never released anything related to his medical records. It
ever.
took Epstein to have him release something about his medical records because he just needed something for the news to talk about.
He is desperate. And we'll talk about the Obama
Desperate.
situation. We will
He
talk
even
about
talks, and he
MLK,
never talks.
but having him do that whole video on his
He's deranged.
of
What I
Obama
mean,
getting
but here's the thing.
arrested.
It's not even the fact that he put it out on his true social. This is coming from the official White House pages. Okay, all these things they're doing are putting out on the White House page. He's being sued by I'm not sure if it's DC or the guy who directed the latest Superman when they photoshopped him on the Superman poster. They're suing them
Oh,
him directly
really?
now.
Good.
Yes,
Sue.
and good for
That's what he.
him.
That's the only thing he understands is suing.
Exactly.
If he can sue, why not people sue him? I see also Lisa says, good to hear everything worked out well for your mom, Chris. And thank you to everyone who prayed for my brother. Everything turned out well for him also. That was yesterday.
Awesome.
So we
Awesome.
prayed for
Awesome.
Lisa's brother. He was in the hospital yesterday, had some surgery. And so Lisa texted me yesterday, let me know things were well. And I'm glad she's sharing with you guys that all is well.
Awesome.
And Kimmy says, well, the last time people were leaving and getting fired left and right. I'm just waiting. And pop news from Bryson says, it's been a lot of pop culture news and politics since Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy Osbourne passed away,
Yeah.
and Wednesday got renewed season 3. Okay. And then also we got the wonderful Dr. Tachi, who I will be appearing on her show on Friday. So I'm excited about that.
Yes.
I will be with the Dr. Tachi, not just Dr. Tachi, the Dr. Tachi. And all those,
Yes.
just as a reminder, if you're in the building, make sure you check out all of the entertainment and information and all the people that are on Indie Soup.
Yeah.
Indie Soup
Great programming
Network.
over there.
The programming is great. There's a lot of great people on there, and you can find myself and repeat there, and you can also find amazing people, some that are also in this community. Okay. And Lisa says, so weird. I just went to line the show and the subscribe button is not pressed. I was always subscribed. Who undid it? I don't know. Check it. Y'all better make sure y'all all subscribed. Make sure you're all subscribed and make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. And also, Lisa says, I also just heard MJW was swimming with his daughter. Yes, we heard that yesterday. That news came out through TMZ, I do believe. But she was
Listen,
saved, and they worked on him for 45 minutes, but they couldn't save him.
never underestimate TMZ. Let me see. TMZ will always get the breaking news right. They are
TMZ
always
is
the
like
first
on it.
one. They are always the first one to break the news. As a matter of fact, it was through them that I saw that Ozzy had passed away, and they let it go before most news even picked it up.
Ozzy, I didn't realize he was so young. I mean, he was only 76 years old. I thought he was much
Yes,
older.
he had Parkinson's.
Yeah, but I
I
remember
know
him
that disease very well.
on the cable show. Remember they had the Osbournes?
Yeah,
And
that
I
was a great
remember his
show.
shakes and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
The bat eater, the bat
yeah.
biter.
But you know what though? Here's the thing. I think he actually kind of knew that he didn't have long
I think
left.
he knew it. Yeah.
He did his final performance. I think it was like last month.
Last week.
He reunited with. Was it last week?
It was last week or
Was
2
it? I
weeks
thought it was
ago.
last month. Something
No,
like
it
that.
was
Yeah.
they just did the for his it was a big last concert. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was a concert bringing them all back together. It
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to be their last concert. It was just bringing everyone together.
But I think he kind
It's
of knew. And
sad.
then a lot of times, people when you're getting close to the end of your life, sometimes you do know.
You feel
You
it.
know.
I presume
Yeah.
some people do. Some people are gifted that way. Some people do feel their end. Lisa said, wasn't there issues in the past with him being racist? Yes, there was years ago. There was something, some rumors and some, but it is what it is. Lisa says their show was great though. They lived a very rich life. The the Osbournes was before the Kardashians, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
The Osbournes were that was a really interesting
But
that
they
was
were
a real
like
interesting show.
it was a real family. Like they had
Yeah.
lots of issues, and they put it
And
out
they
there for
had
everyone
some
to
real
see.
issues. I mean,
Yeah,
they really show you their good, bad, and ugly.
yeah, yeah.
But could someone explain to me why is it? I'm just throwing it out there. Why is it that the famous die in threes?
I don't know. And Ronald actually told me that someone else had passed away. I think 2 days over the weekend before Malcolm Jamal
Well, the
Warner. So
gentleman,
this obviously was a three.
we had the famous guy that used to spend time. He was with Biggie in the entertainment. Well, we were supposed to go to his birthday party on Wednesday last week. He invited my neighbor and he said, "Bring your friend." So she calls me up while she's in church. Well, she texts me while she's in church, and I was like, "Aren't you supposed to be listening to the service?" She's inviting me to a birthday party, and she goes, "Nephew, would you like to go with me to the birthday party?" And he was so excited, and he put out his gave her the invitation, said, "I'm gonna put you on the list. Come on out. It's Wednesday." Tuesday, he passed away.
Mm,
I was like, "Holy moly!" I think I'm just kind of absorbing all of this because all of these people are not old. They're not old
no.
people. And she says, famous, isn't it more than we recognize deaths in threes? I don't know. I just don't know. But it's a phenomena.
Yeah, they're always as long as I've been alive, I've just known that death comes in threes, and it's always been proven right. Like it's never not happened. I don't know if it's our psyche or we're just more heightenedly aware, but it just seems to be a thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always like in threes. Dr. Taji said it's amazing that he survived this long with the amount of alcohol and drugs he dabbled in. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a drug addict. I mean, he was the father of heavy metal. Oof.
Those artists, like it's what it is. It's because they're on the road all the time and it's so accessible, and people just want to give it to them, and they fall into that
Well,
trap.
you look at the Rolling Stones. Look at the Rolling Stones. These guys look like they should be in coffins, all of them, but they are on the stage and they are moving. I mean, Mick Jagger is still dancing and moving
Well,
and
I mean, he
shuffling.
he's married to a young lady too, isn't he?
Well, that may have something to do with it, but I
Hey, look,
mean, you have to admit he is phenomenal
yeah,
that the Rolling Stones, that these
still rolling.
people are still rolling. And they
Yeah.
literally look like a cartoon caricature of dead people that should be in coffins. They just look that way. Every time I see them, I think they should be in coffins. But they are on the
Oh
stage,
gosh.
and Mick Jagger is doing his thing. He's still shaking his leg. Anyway, this
Move like
I
Jagger.
I hear the door. I heard the doorbell, but y'all didn't hear it. So, but I'm bringing the girls on. Here they go. There they are.
It's the
There they are,
ladies.
ladies, lady.
Which
Okay.
one are you trying to sing, Ron?
I was trying to sing that would
Lionel
be
Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Oh,
Yes.
I wasn't going to that one. I was going to house music.
Thank you, Elise. Thank you. Thank you. So, anyways, how you ladies doing? Welcome. Let me
Great.
move you over there, Miss G, so you could be there and I could be where the words are. There we go. Got you up there. The Brady Bunch. The Brady
Yeah.
Bunch. Here we are in our squares. Who else? What else is being said here in the community here? It was July 5th. Oh, it was July 5th that concert was, which is
So that was
less
like
than
2
20
weeks
days.
ago.
So 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks ago. I remember it. Lisa says
He came
their
on stage
show
in
was great, though. They lived a very rich life.
Yeah.
And Dr. Tachi says it's amazing that he survived this long. We already got that up there. Okay. And that's where we left off. Yes, the Osbournes was as the very beginning of the whole reality TV show craze. Well, they were a play off of Real World. Remember Real World?
Yeah.
How many of you youngsters out there are old enough to remember the Real
original
World?
cast. The original cast.
The
was fairly
Real World.
with very little editing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the first one was very good.
Yeah.
But
My
then
kids made me watch it.
but then after that it became less real because then people would
It was all about editing.
and then they had to audition and all the other stuff, and so it was crazy though. I used to love the Real World. I mean, the Real World was my jam. I rushed home to throw on my MTV. I was an MTV fanatic. I lived to the power
MTV
of
was
MTV.
that.
Ooh, that's when it was. That's when it was a music television.
I was going to say, who remembers what MTV actually stood for?
Exactly.
Music television.
Music
Yes.
television.
And
That's
video
when they stopped
killed the
playing
radio
this.
star.
Oh,
Yes,
video
yes.
killed the radio star.
radio star. Yes.
And no one plays music videos anymore.
And remember Max, the Max head, the Max in the TV
Yes.
screen?
Yes.
Didn't he start out as a Pepsi commercial?
Yes.
no.
Yeah,
Max
he
did.
was. He was a
Yeah.
commercial. And, like they tried to give him a show and everything. It was weird.
Yes. The show didn't do
Yes,
well.
I didn't know
No, the
that.
show didn't do well.
Yeah.
It's like that caveman from Geico. Because
You
they was
know
like,
what,
oh, he's
though?
a great commercial. Let's give him a show. It's like he can't carry a show. He can carry a 30-second commercial.
It was like it kind of was giving the feeling like it was the first attempt at doing like AI in a way. Because he was supposed to be like this robot that kind of lived in the screen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Lies. And okay. Oh, Bryson with another pop statement. We're getting ready for the Fantastic Four First Steps this Friday, and we're getting ready for Freakier Friday next month. Is anyone going to see the Fantastic Four? I wasn't never really a Fantastic Four.
No.
I'm a fan. I used to love it back in the day, and I'm just not hyped about this one. The very first one they did was really good. The other two was very lackluster, and I've been watching the previews. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. I think Ron's gonna go see it. I'm like, you can go. I'll wait for it to come on, whatever's gonna come on streaming to watch it. I'm not.
I
did see Superman though.
You saw Superman.
Yeah.
You
I
saw
enjoyed it.
Superman. I did not see Superman.
Sign of the Times is coming to IMAX, so I'm down for that.
Wow.
What is?
Sign of the
What is it?
Times.
Sign of the Time.
Sign of the Times.
Oh.
Remember when Prince was like creating these musical movies? People showed up for that. Like it is a whole production, but that's coming to IMAX, and I want to say Jaws, which I've been watching all week. So prime time.
We watched the first two Jaws.
Since you bring up Jaws, I will tell you, I am going to have a special addition to my time in Martha's Vineyard in 2 weeks. It's almost 2 weeks.
Nice.
And I will be taking you to the places where Jaws was filmed.
We'll be watching.
Some of our shows will be on
Jaws.
location. That I can
like
guarantee.
You know, I don't know if I'm that person who wants to know where something was. Like that's never been my thing per se. It's not my thing. No,
I was like, oh wow, this is where I was like, really? It was right here on this dock? Oh man, they were right over here. I get crazy because you know me. I like
it.
behind the thing.
You like it?
I like it. I like
Yeah.
that. I
I
like what's
like
going
knowing
on
the
behind.
secrets behind movies. Yeah, I'm the
Yes, I
same
like
way.
the
I
I
don't
love
secrets.
the
mind
behind the
that.
scenes.
But okay,
Did you
so
see?
take it back.
Go
There's
ahead.
only one, and that was Mere Woods for Star Wars.
Oh,
That was
Mm.
it.
oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Are we not Star Wars fans?
Oh, I
No,
love
no,
Star Wars.
big Star Wars
I
fan.
love Star
I mean,
Wars.
the way you were like, oh. I was like,
Well,
no,
listen,
check
they
it.
shot.
Attitude, man. Check it.
I forget which Star Wars recently. One of the more recent movies was shot in Iceland. I remember going past on one of the locations because, and then also I don't know if you guys know one of the alien movies, Prometheus, was shot in Iceland.
Mm,
I was actually at that falls where when he falls into the falls at the
yes,
end.
yes.
I've shot there. Yeah, I
Oh, okay.
like those little things. I love that type of
I do
stuff.
too. It's like when I travel, and I've traveled to several places that they filmed Game of Thrones, and I get so excited. I'm like,
Yes.
oh my gosh! In Malta, it
Yeah.
was the Game of Thrones was shot there. Iceland, Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Okay.
Namibia, Game of Thrones. I mean, there's so
Iceland's a
many
big
places
location
around
too.
the world. Well, I didn't go to
They shoot a
Australia
lot.
yet.
They shoot a lot of movies that are where they want to do like otherworldly things. They shoot on
Yes.
other planets because if you've ever been to Iceland, it looks like you're on a different planet.
Hmm. Iceland is like
Mm,
another world. That's it, like Namibia. It's another world. It doesn't
yeah.
look like any place on the earth. So
Look,
anyway,
I've been in
Gwendolyn, you have something?
DC. Look, I've been in DC where they film movies.
Oh,
Right? She's
DC is in
like,
everybody.
Yeah,
DC's been
yeah.
overfilmed.
I
It's
And
like
mean,
New York
Toronto,
And
City.
blowing it
Canada,
up.
they do lots of films in Canada. And I was there.
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone. I don't know if you all remember the one where he was like in a race car or something. They did that in Toronto, and we were actually there when they were filming one of the car scenes
Mhm.
on the streets of Toronto. So I've seen things like that live. But yeah.
Nice.
Wow, look at that. I mean, okay, so we there's some stuff. First of all, we have Gwendolyn is recapping something that we talked about last week. Gwendolyn, take it away.
we're gonna keep it really short, like 5 minutes short. So I know we spoke about Teddy Bridgewater last week, and we didn't go into how much money he had spent. We just said, he was buying the Uber, rides and the food and recovery. But I didn't know that he had spent money to put the lines down on the football field.
Mm.
I was like,
Mm.
wait, they didn't have lines on their football field? Is that kind of thing. So I thought to myself this morning as I'm still getting those videos in my feed that, back in the day, saying someone was radical was seen in a negative light, like, oh my God, they're radical. We're at a place where you need to get radical. Like, you are at this moment the change you want to see in the world. Full stop. This is it. There is no one coming to save us. This is it. So I applaud Teddy. And I know people are like, well, it could be this, it could be that. Look, at the end of the day, when you have people who have not had something and now they have, and folks get upset, I don't want to hear it. If it was someone else at some other school, it would be seen as being a very a great donor, right? This is his part of his philanthropy outline. But if you are in another community and you're doing the exact same thing, it's a violation. So yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's my piece. I'm done. There you go.
Well,
but we know that's the way it is, right? When it comes
yes.
to communities, especially Black communities, communities of color, that's always the way it is, right? They have booster clubs. They have, you have the whole scandal behind taking money from poor people in Mississippi to build a volleyball thing. And everybody's, that's not bad. Nobody really dealt with that, right? Nobody really took them to task about that the way they should have. But when you try to do things for people who need things for some, like I said before, somehow our humanity has gotten to be such a negative thing. Our caring for each other is a crime. And I think we have to move past that, and we have to do it. We have to do it regardless of what people are going to think, because as Gwendolyn said, no one's coming to save us. We're going to have to decide how deep we're going to dig and support ourselves, and especially for our young people. We got to figure out, we have to decide how deep we're going to dig for it and to heck with everybody else. Glenn would probably say something else, but to heck with everybody else.
It's the truth, though. It's the truth. No one's coming to save us. No one
Nope.
is going to save our communities. And I don't know about y'all. I don't know if you heard about this new thing. Well, it's weird. I'm going to just drop it. Maybe Elise may have heard of it because Elise has been so in tune with this stuff. Project Esther.
Yes, Project Esther. I started reading it last week. I was just.
What do you think of this Project Esther? I mean,
I'm not familiar with it.
You want to fill us in first, please?
Yeah. You know what? Let me. Well, hold on a second. I'll let the video speak for itself.
From the Heritage Foundation, dude.
It's another part of Project 2025. It's another extension.
Good Lord.
Yes, but it is something that is really quite interesting. Why does this happen? I can't take it with this stupid thing here. Oh man, I saved it.
Ron Foster, we have talked to you about your presentations.
Well, the thing is that it's crazy that I will save it on my phone on Instagram and it doesn't save on the desktop. How is that possible all the time? Anyway, let me go back to my desktop and then you guys carry on. I mean,
well,
Elise, what do you know about it? I mean, from what you read, what do you know?
Like I said, I literally just started reading it, and the way they have it on the Heritage Foundation page is Project Esther is a national strategy to combat anti-Semitism.
Yes, but it's not that. It's not that. So when I read that, when I did my research on the Google, it's not that.
Right.
Hold on a second.
It's not.
I know. I'm gonna have to go the old-fashioned way. Where's my Google machine? Oh, we're live. This is what we do here. We're just here. We're hanging out together.
I got distracted. My granddaughter sent me a text and it said, "Don't freak out." She sent a picture and a text that "Don't freak out," though. She's at a camp down in North Carolina. And there's like this nasty scar on her leg. I guess she said, "Let me show this to grandma before she gets sees it." But I was
about grabbing scars. Okay.
Yeah.
You live and learn from your scars.
I can read a couple of the key takeaways. Americans, this is on their page. Americans virtually they're anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, and anti-American pro-Palestinian movement is part of a global Hamas project network. Support by activists and funders dedicated to destroying capitalism and democracy. The HSN benefits from the support and training of America's overseas enemies.
Mm-hmm.
The National Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism intends to enlist partners in a coordinated effort to combat the scourge of anti-Semitism in the United States. But another video you were talking about, she had all of these things that they talked about for women. So one of the things that was most interesting, and that's why I say I have to really go and read it.
We have to dig into it, right?
Really read it, because when she mentioned females being born and being sterilized at birth, and then kind of having white embryos implanted in them.
Yes.
So I was like, "This is some crazy stuff." So I said, I said, I need to go read that and make sure what that is. And then the things that they want to do with gay people, like unaliving women who have abortions, unaliving gay men. That kind of stuff. It is quite. That needs to be looked, and the fact that they would use Esther, and I know most of y'all, if you don't know, Esther is the name of the queen from the Bible. Who God used to help save her people, not destroy her people, but to save her people. And so it's very interesting that they called it Esther. And and I keep telling people, I just had this conversation with someone yesterday because I'm crocheting, I'm doing granny squares. I'm doing a lot of things right now. Trying to make
granny squares. We said granny squares.
It's crocheting. It's to make. I'm focused on making a sweater. So I was talking to this young lady, and we were talking about how I said that we need to make them correct the language, and they kind of sort of did it in that one piece. We're not talking about anti-Semitism because you're talking about anti-Israeli government. Because I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna keep saying it. Palestinians are Semites.
Yes.
So if you're against them, then you're an anti-Semite. That's anti-Semitism too. So I think we need to really make them understand that you can't erase a group of people from a group by claiming that it's only this one group that falls in that category. Basically, to me, that's how I interpreted that. You have, by not acknowledging that they are Semites, you're actually erasing them as a people. And from a category where they clearly, if you look it up by definition, belong, right? And so I think that's interesting. So go ahead and play this because I think it's very interesting.
And there's a twist on it though, because like I said, when you look at it on Google, it's about the Palestinians and Middle East. However, when you look at it from the Heritage Society, it's saying something else. But anyway, this young lady,
I thought Project 2025 was some shit, but now they got something called Project Esther. Ain't got shit on Project 2025. I'm just saying. So I went ahead and I took it upon myself to take some notes after reading it. And I want to go ahead and just let y'all know what's going on. So this was written by the Heritage Foundation, okay? And one of the things that's on there is all children will be homeschooled via religion, right? And anybody who resists, they have re-education camps to repurpose your brain to make you compliant. I probably should have saved this for White History Wednesday because what? Re-education camps? Are you kidding? Abortion is criminal and you're sentenced to unaliving if you have one. Okay? It's been written in place of the Constitution with biblical law. So they're using the Bible as law in order to control people. And speaking of the Bible, right? It's only one religion. One Bible, one God, you must comply. You can't practice religion outside of what they want us to practice. Surveillance. We thought what they doing with surveillance, like them having cameras everywhere and watching us everywhere was a thing. No, they want to implant. They would have put something in us. And this is written. Go look it up. Like, don't take my word for it. Don't even get in the comments trying to argue with me. Go look up Project Esther, okay? They want to put implants in that keeps up with your blood pressure, your health, your everything. They want to keep up with your every move. They want to know where you are every.
This is very true. Kennedy just mentioned this. He wants that for every citizen. It was pitched to the Congress. I do believe it was last month. This is correct. And also Elon has some company he's worked with is now also working on the chip for everyone to be implanted. So these are facts already.
Those
second of the day. Granted,
say again, Elise.
Those are things that they actually have proposed doing, which is like, at one point, and it made me think about things that people already own. People own eye watches.
Yes.
People own oral rings. They're gonna connect into all of your systems if you have any of those devices on your body.
So here, let her finish off. Let's go.
We know that they already have ways of doing that via other ways of surveillance, but now they want to forcibly implant us with things. Okay, women, this is big for us because we are no longer considered people. We would be property of our husbands. Okay, we can no longer drive, vote, wear our hair the way we want to. We must get permission from our husbands to do anything. Okay, sterilization. At birth, they will sterilize young girls, and when they come of age to have a baby, they will grow a baby in the lab and implant the baby in you just to keep the Caucasian race going. Population control. No more LGBTQ plus. Okay? You either straight or they unalive you as a man. But as a woman, you still have a working womb. So they're going to force you to marry a man. This low-key worse than Handmaid's Tale because they wasn't forced to marry people. They was just forced to get hunched on. Lord have mercy. What we gonna do about this Project Esther?
There you have it. Her name is Maya. Oh, let me get that so you can see. Handle is let what is it? My alarmist.
And can I say something while you're looking that up?
Yes.
The fact that they're actually proposing this now, they're doing this because they're proof of concept and an actionable concept of Project 2025 or 2024, whatever. You know what I mean? They've implemented that, so they're all right. Now we've implemented the majority of this. Because I believe they said it's like 49% or 60% of it has been
49% is
implemented
done
already.
of Project
Okay,
25.
so here was our next steps of what we plan to do, and they have no shame in saying what it is because they put it out there before, and no one said anything about it. You know, it took forever for mainstream media to take it up, and they've implemented it. So, all right, well, what's the next step? Esther.
This is something that we need to be keeping our eyes on, and but it's also, when I was a kid, and I became a Christian when I was 13 years old. That's when I became a born again believer. And we used to get, remember those? We talked about this before. We used to get those little tracks, and you talk about the Revelation and the last days and the number 666 and all that stuff. I mean, when you think about what is going on through Project 2025 and these proposals that are out there right now, and how the system is taking away everybody's rights, Revelation is becoming more realistic than I've always knew that, we always say we know the Bible's true. And for those that believe in it. However, most people are like, okay, Revelations is kind of a little far-fetched on some levels. But as I am watching things unfold, I'm like, man, if there was a prophecy about the end times, it's getting really correct. It's really becoming more and more feasible. Elise?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, because I read Revelations and I read the books Left Behind. I've read Octavia Butler's books. If people are believers, I'm gonna tell y'all now. If you go to Revelations, we're in the tribulation. We're in the wars, the rumors of wars. We're into humans not being humans, and and then there's a part where they want to put the mark of the quote unquote the mark of the beast on you, which is immediately what I thought when Elon Musk was talking about implanting people. I said,
Yes.
You want to implant
immediately
people?
I thought about that.
That would be the mark of the beast, and then they'd have a way of telling whether or not you have been implanted, right? Because they're gonna have to track all of this. I'm thinking I'm old. They don't need to track me. They don't need to know anything about me. But I think that I always think that science fiction writers, to me, were almost like they were kind of prophets in a way. And they have so clearly foretold what we're experiencing. You think about Octavia Butler's book was written over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But the start date of the story is I think it's July of 2024.
Did we freeze? Oh, there we go. Go back.
We're talking about this period of time. So I think we just have to, and the problem is that we are going to have the same situation with Project 2025. You're going to talk about Project Esther, and people are going to talk about it. And then people are going to say, oh, I don't believe it. But if you look, I was just glancing through some of the things they're already doing. Part of it is controlling media. They're already doing that. They're already manipulating and controlling education, because a big move with the education budget is actually around privatization and homeschooling. Mm-hmm. That's a big part of their move. Mm-hmm. And if you remember Project 2025, it talked about the American Academy schools. Like, you put all these schools in there, basically indoctrination centers. And so as you look at it and you put the two, you're going to see things that are going to be very similar, but you can also see where they're being more specific. And the honest truth is, because people tend not to want to pay attention or be almost afraid of all of this stuff, right? That they choose not to. This is a conscious choice not to even acknowledge it or read about it. So that you're aware. I have a 17-year-old granddaughter, right? you better believe I'm gonna know if a doctor makes a suggestion that she has this or that. I'm gonna take her someplace black. We gonna go find out the truth. I'm not gonna take that chance, right? And we have to be careful about how we take our chances with life and what people are doing. And I think that it's time for people to stop being such lemmings and following the folks that are talking the loudest and getting us to feed into the distractions. Where we need to be paying attention to things like this. People, they have some data I saw said that 46% of the Project 2025 has been implemented. And to me, it feels like even more, but they say 40%. Project Esther, if once we start going through it, and I will go through it in detail, we'll probably find out how much of that has already started.
It's already been done.
It's already been started. I don't think this group of people puts out anything that they haven't already started, and they have the perfect storm. They have control of every branch of government. They have control of.
Yep.
So they have the perfect storm.
It's getting real, y'all. And I don't know the remedy. I don't know the answer, but I do know that we need to be aware of what's going on. And but because I remember when I saw that hearing when Kennedy was before them, and he said he wants a chip to be able to have all the people's records and every their body, all the information embedded in everybody in America, so that way they can be able to have a better medical system under the umbrella of a better medical system. And that was just before the Congress a couple of weeks ago.
I want people to think about it. If you have your iWatch programmed so that it collects all of your data, your heart rate, everything about you, they already have a start on that because that data is collected in a cloud. That's in a system they can actually access, right? If you have these oral rings, because I know a lot of young people have oral rings. That oral ring knows when you're asleep. It knows how long you've been asleep. It tells you whether or not you have your body has restored. It tells you all of these things about your body. It's going into a cloud. That's not just housed with you. It's in a system that anybody can access. Basically, that's what they want. They have already out here getting into every bit of your data. That's just all of the data they're going to access. And I was like, I thought about it. I said, wait, maybe I need, and I said, no, I'll get something else. Or I'll just, if I have my phone when I'm walking, I have a phone walking, or I'll just walk for an hour or two and say, okay, I made all the steps I need to make and not worry about counting the steps. Because we have to think about how they're going to use these devices we have on our arm. Now, I wear regular watches. How they use everything that when we start using more and more technology, it gives them more and more access to who we are and what we do.
You bring up a point. This was in the news last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was last week. This couple, I do believe they're in one of the southern states. I think it's Texas or Louisiana. I can't remember which one it is. And they were complaining because the people in the community are complaining because they're building these big giant data warehouses around the country. And so what they're doing was called eminent domain. And is also giving off the some kind of
in Georgia. That was the latest.
Is it Georgia?
The latest, the first one was in Tennessee with Elon Musk. Now they're proposing one in Georgia.
So they're proposing to put these all over the country.
Yep.
And some of the people they're totally upset because it's changing the all this debris and all the junk is going into the rivers, going in, and it's toxins. Also, they're complaining about the lights, like these new data centers that's collecting all the data around from all of our machines is lighting up their area where these people can't sleep. So their biggest concern is that their children are not able to sleep. They're not able to sleep because the light emitting from these big data storage units, which are huge. It's like, I think they said 6 football fields. And it's huge.
They're huge.
Yeah, but they're putting them everywhere to collect our data. Yeah.
Right, the one that Elon Musk has in Tennessee has 33, I think they're methane gas tanks. At one point, they was like, oh, they don't have them all on. Then they got, you can get this surveillance so it can show the heat, right? They showed that most of them were actually on. And what's been happening in that community where it's located is that people are having difficulty breathing because it's polluting the air. They also use an extremely large amount of energy and water.
Yes.
Because the computers take a lot of that's a lot of cooling involved in all of that stuff.
For the data centers.
So that people are getting sick around this thing. But you got to remember what they did. That's really has cleared the way for them to be able to house these huge data centers. Is that they've basically taken all of the everything from EPA, so there's no regulation. So they've cleared the way for all of the pollutants and everything. You can now pollute the environment of people. So that's what that clears the way for these data centers, because there are no regulations to comply with, because EPA is not. They have taken all the teeth from EPA.
Yeah. So these are things that we have to keep on our radar. And again, these are affecting red states more than the blue states, because they are using these rural areas to put these huge facilities, and something to keep a watch of. But like you did say, and that was the other point, it was using up the water from the water table. So they don't have the excess water that they need for prevent fires, to agriculture, all the other things, and they're all going into these large databases. Anyway, just wanted to throw it out there. This is conversation. We always just send conversation. Jazzy says data centers need huge masses of water.
Right.
Yeah. So the other thing that Jazzy had mentioned is that, says y'all don't have to try hard to collect our data. We give it away freely. It's so true.
We give it away free.
I mean, when you sign up for like Google and all this stuff to get free email, you're not getting this stuff for free. Nothing you do or anything you get is for free. There's always some type of compromise or something you're giving up in order to get this. No one is going to give you anything in this life for free. Right. So just think about that. When you sign up for these free services, you're giving them access to your data. I mean, look, I am not. I'm one that I have an Apple Watch. I have an iPhone. All we can do is make informed decisions as far as like what we're giving up, what companies do with our information. I've chosen Apple because they do have a record on protecting the user's privacy and not having access to user data. Whereas like when you use like certain other products or other services, you're giving up some of your privacy in order to get some of these services for free. I always say, I don't believe that anyone should be forced into a platform. You choose a platform you feel is right for you. You choose the phone that is right for you. The services are right for you, but also just know and be aware that all this stuff comes at a price.
Right.
Here's also the information, just in case you just put in your Google communities against data centers, and then it goes into communities are increasingly opposing the construction of new data centers due to concerns about their environmental and community impact. And then gives a list: the environmental impact, the noise pollution, the visual impact, community responses, lobby and the lobby efforts that are going on against it, and the seeking of legal actions. It has a long list if you go on there, and then it also gives you all the other stories here. If you just Google, you'll be able to see this on I'll have the links inside the description of our chat here today. But here's the history of the one of January 23rd. There's one June 9th that was in the news, October 24th, September 24th, March, May, June 13th, and so on. So it is big, but that the reason why I bring this subject up is because all of where they're going or where they plan to go, which is part of this Project Esther and some of the parts of Project 2025 is that they want to totally make it a Christian, what they call Christian nationalist nation. And they want to collect data on everyone. And they're creating some kind of slave state. We don't know what it looks like and what it's going to be, but they are the reason why they're getting rid of jobs, getting rid of healthcare, you will be a slave to the system because you won't have anything.
May I add to that?
Yeah.
Because you know how I feel about work. I feel some kind of way about work. So being the person who likes to look into work, there's a news out from the Labor Department where I want to say they're trying to get rid of like 60 or so. I should say they're wanting to make 60 or so changes to what we currently have for our work environments. Them being that they are really focused on getting rid of regulations that have been burdensome and slows down the prosperity of America. Pretty much, you want to get rid of minimum wage. You want to deregulate the working environment. So if by chance you have a job that is fairly hazardous and something happens to you, your family cannot come back and sue or try to get any kind of justice. Is the things that people are doing. Right now, here's what I don't like about the article I read is that they keep saying that this is going to be a major impact for women and persons from people who are melanated, right? Because I don't like the word that they use. At the end of the day, it impacts everybody. Not having a safe workplace impacts every single person, man, woman, all of us are impacted.
All of us.
The idea that they've been rolling back child labor laws for a very long time says something. But when you say things like we want to deregulate XYZ to bring back prosperity, well, who is that really benefiting? So could there be a slave state? The answer there is could. Because what people fail to recognize is that you still have choice. You have a choice. Now, I get the person who won. I get how he won, but very, very small margin, which means these are like very bleak days. But there are more of us who really feel a certain way than those who showed up to vote, right? Because you can't be, I don't want to say you can't, but I'm going to say you can't. You have choices. We have been made into this certain mindset that I have to work this certain job. I have to do the 9 to 5. I have to do XYZ. That is bull. It is not. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but be whoever you are and die. Maybe pay your taxes, but that's not it. Right?
Black
you don't have to do that.
Right.
So I recorded a video.
You don't have to stay black either. He says.
I know, right? So Jim Farley is the CEO of Ford. And he recently was at this idea festival where he was saying how he went back to Henry Ford's playbook and he had to figure out how does he attract new workers. And he pulled the playbook from the original founder and he had to find a pathway to make temporary workers, full-time workers, and pay them more and give them this. And it was expensive, but we had to do it. See, that's that bullshit right there. Because you're telling me as a CEO, you don't know that your employees work 2 full-time jobs and still can't make ends meet. You want to pay $17 an hour and you think that's enough. But see, that's a choice though, because we don't have to stay there. We don't have to, like at any point, if people really want to make a difference, just like don't show up for work and figure out how that shit happens. How does it happen? Now, you may find somebody else to come in there and be like, well, I guess I got to make it work. We don't have to stay there. We have given up our power. We have been trained that we have no power. Only certain people get to make decisions and live a certain way. And we get up every morning and go grind for somebody else's dream. And for what? To eventually retire? And then you can barely do that? See, that's a choice. We are choosing to live that way. If more people realize their power and band together, and just don't do some things for a couple of days, how they gonna get it done? Like really ask yourself that. How they gonna get it done? Like, think about it. Just really think about it. People picking it for a reason. They go on strike for a reason. We have to remember that collective part. So I get they're making the data centers and they're doing a lot of stuff, but you're going to have to really hold me down. Maybe you may have to do some serious damage for me to do half of this stuff, because it doesn't have to be this way. We should be informed, but also go back to, what power do I have? I have a lot of power.
Absolutely.
A lot of power. We got to start showing up. This is it, kids. This is the fourth quarter. This is it.
Gwendolyn, I want to add on to Gwendolyn's comment. You are absolutely right. And that's the thing, is like, we have allowed this, what we hear and the media, all this stuff to control us, right? So it's like, oh, I'm going to primary. You have people, individuals like Musk saying, oh, I'm going to decide who gets primary out. No, that's our control. We have the control, and people have forgotten that it's way more of us. And we have got to stop letting them guide us by what we hear and see, and start coming together and do it and talking about it, so that we understand that we are the biggest force. We millions of us out here. It's not that many of them. It's millions of us out here. And we have every time turned over our control and said, oh my God, no, it's time to go. And
the problem is, people are not educated. People do not want to educate themselves, spend the time to gain knowledge. They just want to be fed from this machine. Listen to me. This is a powerful tool, but in the hands of someone who's not educated, is a dangerous tool.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And that's what we are finding out now. People are just, they're robots to this machine, because instead of saying, you know what, let me go and look for information and then look for a second and third source, the person they come across that could be AI generated, they're like, oh my God, I guess that's real.
Yeah.
No,
dig right.
deeper. Dig deeper.
And
what's wrong with society today?
Right. And then to continue what Chris is saying, and be willing to check those people we follow.
Yeah.
If Don Lemon says something that's off, say, Don, hey, that's not right.
Yes,
if
right.
Joy Reid says something that's not right, say, hey, Joy, that's not right.
Exactly.
They're not they're humans. They're saying a lot of times this is their job. They want to be paid. So a lot of times they say all of the things that are salacious and sexy too, and may have some gaps out there. Don't go, like, you go on the street and you ask the people a random question, but you don't have a follow-up or say something behind that. Don't play that clip for me. I don't want to see that. I talk to these people on the street and they said this. And what did you say back? or you're trying to play the game of, oh, I'm just going to let it live out there. I don't want it. We can't afford to have it living out there anymore. And there's too many people out here using their platforms, and when it's convenient, they say things that are really not beneficial, or they say things where they start attacking. You start eating your own instead of staying focused on the thing. It's like the one part I did, I listened to a very end of Don Lemon's thing. Yeah, every time they bring up Obama, say, what about Epstein? Just don't answer the question. Just say, what about?
That's right.
You use their technique. We have to start
using
techniques and stop doing it, and and check each other. And you don't have to check them in public. DM somebody, send them a private message, because they also count on us eating each other in public.
Yeah.
Well
you have
done.
To play by
well
their
said.
rules.
Well done and well said. Jazzy says, how do we get to the results when most are self-serving? It's no longer about community and village. Well, that's why we have a community here. That's why we have a community.
I have an idea about that. And I think about my other social circle in Houston. I'm not in Houston very often, but I am in there enough that even though I don't live in Houston, I am locked in. If they need volunteer efforts, I'm driving 4 hours, 226 miles to be exact, to go help. We have choices. And in my opinion, like, I think about my sister and how it was just that constant conversation. We say it, repetition eventually creates recognition. Mm-hmm. We are that solution. Every single person watching this now, in the future on Indie Suit Media, is part of the solution. All you got to do is step out, right? And I get it. Like, we're in these bubbles and it's feeling so comfortable, and I just hate to get out. We're going to have to get out of that bubble. You're going to have to get out of that bubble and start with one person. So if I may take a quick step back, Ron, and I apologize. You
No,
were
go ahead.
saying when famous people die, they're not famous. We just see their face more often. Every single person in this room right now, this virtual room, this space, has the same power and impact of all those people who have passed on before us. We don't get to see it very often. That's all that is.
Right.
Somebody knows you. Somebody knows Chris. Somebody knows Miss Elise. And every single one of us are making an impact in someone else's life. We may or may not hear about it, but we got the exact same impact. That's all that is. So we need to start remembering how much power we have, how much greatness we have. If you woke up this morning, the good Lord said, your job is not done. Go out and do your job. If it's one person, that's the one person you were supposed to touch and change their life today. You did your job. Maybe you get called home tomorrow. I don't know. But you're here. We're still here. Our task is not done. So don't think of the masses. Think of the smallest viable community. Audience, one person. I just need one person to make that change in how they behave. And then that person impacts their people. And then everybody gets impacted. That's how it's going to have to happen. We are our solution. This is it.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and you're absolutely right. I always tell people, when you think about yourself, I'll take my IG thing, right? I may have less than 3,000 follows. However, each one of those people are connected with a ton of other people. Some of them are connected with 100,000 people. Some of them are connected with 1 million people. So if they like a post or say something, people see that they like or say it. So they're going to go back and check it. So we have to think of it, excuse me, that we are actually, even though it's us, our reach is exponential. And stop discounting ourselves and saying, oh, it's only me and I'm only here. But your reach is exponential. Once you put it in there, that's why I try to pay attention to, okay, so I'm going to make this post 3 minutes or less, because then I know it reaches all of Instagram instead of just the people who watch. Once they started saying, it's longer than 3 minutes, it'll only reach these people. I say, okay, so I'm going to make everything less than 3 minutes so that it reaches more people and it becomes exponential. That's how we have to start thinking about it. You alone are one person, yes, but your reach is exponential because you are out here talking. Chris, you have your show. You and your husband have the show with your friends. That's exponential. There are tons and tons of people who are going to keep watching that because it's on there. Everything we do is exponential. So Gwendolyn, you're absolutely right. We talk, as I say, each one teach one, which means that I teach you and if I reach you, you're going to teach all of the ones that you reach. And that's how we have to do it. That's how we have to keep going. But we are at the point where, as they used to say, my mama used to say, you either piss or get off the pot. That's where we are.
This is where we are. This is where we are.
And I have to put it so people who look like me understand. And the ones who don't understand is either you ready or you not. You either in it to win it or you move out of the way so we can get done.
Yes,
That's where we are. We're in that point of life. Because
you gotta stand up.
Now,
you gotta step up.
Day, we can't sit and keep saying, oh my God, every day. We gotta say, okay, so I saw that. Now what can we talk about? What can we do about it? How can we take some kind of action? Because we're at the action point, because we talk good all the time. What are action points, and how do we go out into the community? How do we reach out to each other? How do I just a part of this? Like I always say, use the platform. Don't let the platform use you. Yeah. So if somebody's putting something out there, I'm gonna post. Okay, Michigan had their last day to register so they can vote in this primary. I put it up on Monday. I put it up so that they saw that they had Monday to get it done.
Yes.
I can't be in Michigan, but I sure can post it. And the people who see it from Michigan or the people in Georgia, I've had people from Georgia repost it because they saw it on there first, even though they may not have seen it. So that's how we can do the little thing, but it has a major impact.
There you go. That is the last word. That is the last word. And Gwendolyn, where can people find you?
I'm Black Power Bunny on Instagram and GR Houston Jack on YouTube.
And Elise, where can people find you?
So it's Elise, ALIEZE _ on Instagram. Elise Stallworth on YouTube. I'm getting there, but yes.
Yeah, you're getting there. Yes. And Chris, where can people find you, sir?
Everything constantly _ changing the number for me on Instagram, on Blue Sky. Yeah, pretty much those.
And also, I would like to just share with you guys this coming up in August for our Photography Day, World Photography Day in Brooklyn, August 16th, 2025. Jamel Shabazz, the Black Photographers Collective, Howard T. Cash, Black Eyes Collective, and the Pat Museum presents the second annual World Photography Day in Brooklyn. And come early, be on time. There will be a photo shoot of all of the photographers and creatives. And this year is not just photographers, but it's photographers, curators, writers, models, musicians, collectors, graphic artists, gallery owners, journalists, actors, actresses, and all who use photography. So come celebrate with us on August 16th, 2025. And I will try to make sure that I get this on here all the time because we are less than a month from this event. Be here. It's going to be great. Last year, I met so many photographers, people that I only read about, people that I follow on Instagram, but never met in person. Check it out. Also, if you want to be part of our Instagram, a part of our world here, make sure you sign up for our email, around those photos. Go to that website. Also, again, I want to just bring recognition to Rolling Clouds, who supports what we do here. That is a cigar company by Black females, and they own that. So it's a Black company, and they support our Patreon community and what we do here. Also, speaking of Patreon, I want to say thank you to the Patreon members. If you are a Patreon member, make sure you support. If you're not, but if you are, we just want to say thank you. Your support helps us create amazing content. If you're not a Patreon member, become one. Support what we do here, so that way we can continue to grow and have more impact in our community and reach more people. There you have it. I think that is it, y'all. I think we had a great conversation today. And again, all the subjects that we talked about today, do your homework. It's not enough that you heard it here. We bring up subjects so you can now, it'll spark you to do the research. Do your research. You have several conversations, several topics, a part of this conversation today that you can dive into. And tomorrow we'll be back. Tomorrow is our Trend Watch Thursday, and we'll be talking about what's in the news. I'm so glad that we just had a conversation. There's a lot going on in the news, but tomorrow we'll dive more into the news crap. Let's just say news crap. The news stuff.
No, you're right.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
We'll jump into
nice
that
word.
tomorrow. But today, I mean, it was good. Thank you guys, and thank you for being a part of our community and showing up. I appreciate every one of you. Guys, have a great day. Enjoy your hump day. Oh, and if you are available tonight, we are having our game night. Our game night is every Wednesday night for hump night. So we do it at the beginning of the week, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and the close out the night on Friday. But we will have our New York Times game night. We do the New York Times puzzles, and we have a good time doing it. So guys, see you. Until I see you later. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.